So, we've got the Mbawula Chat coming up with Mr. Tshepo, founder of Brima Logistics, and Bulelani Balabala. You want to listen to this one. Bulelani is coming through for the Mbawula Chat. After the Mbawula Chat, we're going to have lunch and then we wrap up the session. But this is a big, big one. So, firstly, I'll call up the founder of Brima Logistics, Mr. Tshepo, sir. Please come to the front. Oh, come on, guys, we can do better than that. You will hear the story. Because sometimes hey, you want to listen and hear the story. This is Mbawula Chat. And it's going to be facilitated by Bulelani Balabala. Can we give him a round of applause as well?
One, two.
It's on.
1, 2.
1.
Yeah, it's perfect.
2.
This one, yeah. How you guys doing? We're into some product placement. Yeah, this feels way better. Shout out to the guys for this setup. In actual fact, that's how we've always visualized Mbawula Chat. Because before I introduce our headline, heavy hitter, you know, this is how we've always envisioned it, because we've always had these amazing conversations. Esingamleni, bati fireside chat, bati na it's Mbawula Chat, you know, with our uncles, whether it was sitting around a little fire, or if you grew up like me, and it was the stove lesamalal. And then Bayagla, so we were always guided. So we've always had, you know, that sort of spaces, you know. And I think reclaiming and claiming those spaces is super important to us, because so that we never position ourselves in such a way where we act as if we were never taught. You know, we're always taught, but Abelung Bati, you know, it's get invited to the dinner table. So we're inviting everyone to the Mbawula Chat. You know, something that we all are super familiar with, you know. If the guys can give me some fire, I want some fire here. Give me some fire. But you know what, I'm very grateful to everyone who's here. But I think just most importantly, also for this particular segment, and maybe let him talk about what the segment is. The heavy hitter segment is to be able to give faces to amazing Black local entrepreneurs who started in the Daveyton Townships, as all of us here, but have grown in a massive way. They've grown massive, impactful organizations that are impactful to the economy, that are impactful to the ecosystems and the value chains that they're in, that are very important for the livelihoods of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are reliant on them, that are employed directly through them, or the thousands that are indirectly employed through them by their service providers. That is what the Mbawula Chat is, because, you know, every time, Tshepo, I talk to entrepreneurs, and I think Nami years ago, you know, not to say I'm not inspired by a Warren Buffett or anyone else, you know, here's my direct person I can touch, I can feel, who's the blueprint of how you build a multinational organization, you know, South Africa's largest Black-owned logistics company. You know, and these stories we don't tell enough, you know, but I'll always retweet a SpaceX, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if we then take a centric approach that says we are then going to support our own, and whenever you want to send a parcel anywhere in South Africa, you know, you don't courier it, you Brima it. Yeah, you use the e-black box. You can look it up now as we're having the chat. Use e-black box, you lose Brima, look up Brima Logistics, you can send anything. Bottle of water, ball pen, plastic, at a click of a button right now. So that the disruption of those spaces is reliant on us being conscious of the people and the players who are within the space. Much earlier on I said, we, you know, no, not even much earlier on I didn't say this, we undermine the value of 1 rand or 10 rand. But if we were conscious about where we put our money and where we spend our money, then we'd be very impactful of the spaces. Because I know this man is going to bring it. And a beautiful thing a beautiful thing is everyone is going to walk out of here with a copy of Tshepo's book today. So after the session, the team has set up a station outside for him. We're gonna get his hands working. I hope you've got medical aid because you're gonna sign every book. And we will not be held, Nedbank will not be held liable for any public liability claims. It's a disclaimer, but you will be signing, and you definitely want to read this book. So Tshepo Mekoa is the founder of Brima Logistics, which has innovated a lot of beautiful products. I mean, I love the e-black box over and above everything. Is also the owner of Brima Cafe, which is a local cafe which is based here in Daveyton. But a seasoned, disruptive leader, entrepreneur you want to know. Tshepo, how are you, sir? Our mic, I think. Can you just increase the volume for us? So without even starting, you've already bent the mic. The power.
Yeah, this sounds better now.
Sorry. Cool. So Tshepo, maybe just by way of introduction, Utwa Daveyton, Ditam Kekasiao, maybe just introduce yourself and then just take us into how did you get into this entrepreneurship thing?
I don't think it was by accident. Is the mic? No. Is it clear sabotage? Yeah, okay, cool. I think this one works now. Before I start, good afternoon. And then I am touched. I am inspired. I am taken. I am lost for words. And I would like to take this opportunity, if we can, and join me in clapping for the entrepreneurs that were standing in front of us with their products that they showcase. If please, we can do that.
These ideas, but we've got the potential to compete on a global scale. This is the global scale. Yes. Let's give it up for. So before I hand over to him, the crystal silence that you guys have emitted, thank you in understanding and emitting that silence, because we're projecting from our voices. For your patience and understanding, Yabonga, thank you. So I'm going to hand over to Tshepo to just take us through who he is and what the journey of starting was, what ignited. I mean, you could have worked anywhere, but you decided entrepreneurship. How did you even get to that? The floor is yours.
Yeah, oh, I guess it's dead. We're going solo now. Okay, I'll try and raise my voice. And I just want to say thank you, Bulelani. Thank you very much for inviting me. Let's work now. Okay, let me not sabotage it. Yeah, and thank you for having me here. I regard TIA as a movement. To me, it's like a political party that all entrepreneurs should ascribe to. So when he called me, he said, listen, I'm in your hood, come and help me. To me, it's a calling. It's a calling that I could not say no. It was not about here bringing books and talking to you. It was about what would be that entrepreneur of the day get from me. And hence I decided to show up. Nedbank, thank you very much. I mean, to put your money into these entrepreneurs is one way of investing as well. I often get asked, how did I start? And I've tried to, can I stand up? Yeah. Cool, yeah. Okay, much better now, much better. So I tried to leave a footprint. People ask me on Twitter, but before I say that, let me intro myself, those who don't know me. My name is Tshepo Mekoa. I'm the son of Daveyton. And I am an entrepreneur and an author and a proprietor. You can Google what a proprietor is. Okay? We've seen a lot of deals being done, black people acquiring in big companies and saying they're shareholders in Nedbank. They are not, they are shareholders, but they are not proprietors. In my division of a proprietor is those entrepreneurs that stood here, that showcase their product. And no matter how small or large they are, but we all started there. I started there. And I'm going to share Jane, and I'm going to try and cramp it. And I'm going to try, because it's, I mean, I run 2 brands. I run Brima Logistics, which is 17 years old. We'll need 3 days for me to tell you. And I also started another one, which is, I think it's stopped being a startup now, Brima Cafe. We're going to unleash, it's 12 years old. And I'm yet to define if Brima Cafe is a startup. Brima Logistics is 17 years old. It employs 120 people. It's no longer a startup. It stopped being a startup at 14 years. Now, I need to define, is Brima Cafe, when is it going to cease to be a startup? So I often get asked, and people ask me, how did you go it? Can you be my mentor? Then I realized there's so many of them. And I felt that I want to be able to sit with each and every one of you. Remember, this is a gig for me. Just like you'd find maybe, your celebrities go and sing at F&B. It's their gig, but this is a gig for me. Because I'd like to believe that 9 to 10 of people who are here are entrepreneurs. Now, coming back to how did I then decided that I'm going to pause, I'm going to take time, I'm going to put what I went through a book. And I decided to write the book. And it's not just a book that, you can read it within 2 hours, but it will prompt you to dive deep and research. Every chapter, it's got exercises, which you have to do. And every chapter, it's got recommended reading, which you have to dive deep into. You can't just start a business without sitting down. You don't have to be a genius or have MBA to go through my book. And my book was a combination of a number of things, a number of researchers. So it's a 17 years, call it 16 years of my work as an entrepreneur. And now, to tell a bit of a story, and I'll just summarize the chapters in the book because you're now going to get a book. When I started, because when we were talking earlier on, things like the uniqueness that is coming, what do you resolve with your product or services? Because anybody can sell anything, but not anybody can resolve a particular problem. You're probably wondering, what does Brima Cafe solve? And I'll come to that. What does Brima Logistics solve? You got to understand what core business you are in. What do you sell? We all think McDonald's. So if I can ask you, and I'd like to be interactive here, if you don't mind, you allow me. Because, guys, this is an opportunity for me to impart, share, so that when I come into the township, at least I've managed to touch 2, 3 entrepreneurs who are going to create 3, 4 more jobs. Because of, if you've noticed here, we're not talking about government. We're not. Forget about them. They are messed up, these guys. They have no clue. I tried to summarize their policy here, and I was, okay, what are they saying with their... I realized there's no way it talks about entrepreneurship. It talks about they're going to create jobs. They've been telling us, but they're not. In actual fact, we're losing jobs. So you and I are going to create jobs. You and I are going to assist. But yes, we need them to a point where they have to make legislation easier. I'm not going to dive into legislation. We'll have to, you and I at that level, try and engage with government to say, make things for, because you're an ambassador of township entrepreneurship. So we and I have to go back and start talking to them. But let me come back to McDonald's. I'm going to choose 2 companies. You know McDonald's? What do you think McDonald's sells? Can someone hit me? You, my brother. Damn, you got it right. Okay, cool. Let's hit another one. Avis, Europe Car. What business are they in? Avis, Europe Car. This one you're definitely not going to get. If you get this one, I'll give you a free lunch at Brima Cafe. Hit this one. Ah, gosh. You must have been in one of my chats. Yes, financial services. Now, okay. Let's see. Okay, I owe you lunch. At Brima Cafe. You can have one of my most expensive meal. Now, let's bring another one now. Tonga Hewlett. You all know Tonga Hewlett. What business are they in? This one you're definitely not going to get. I'll put 1,000 rands to anybody who's going to get. I'll give 1,000 rands. Anybody who's going to tell me what business is Tonga Hewlett in? Okay, we'll talk about it now. My brother owe you lunch there. So, Brima Logistics sells time. We're not in the courier business. Courier is a service that we do. We're in the logistic business. So if you come to me and says, Tshepo, I've got a parcel to deliver to Cape Town tomorrow morning. What time? 12. What did I sell you? Time. And it took me a lot of time to get to understand what we sell. It's not just it happened and I knew it all. If I can tell you, I told my staff for 10 years that we are selling promise. Turns out that no, we are not selling promise. We are selling time. But there's nothing wrong about evolving. Brima Cafe, what do you think we sell? What do you think we sell? Don't tell me beggars, don't tell me. What do you think we sell? Closer? She's closer? She's closer? I like this one. She's hot. She's getting hotter. I need someone to be hotter. What do we sell? We sell experience. Who has been inside Brima Cafe, especially now lately? Okay, yeah. You've been there, no? Now let me tell you a story behind Brima Cafe. I'm not going to touch about Brima Logistics. I'll bring Brima Logistics around there because I believe we are in the township. I want us to talk about the township economy. That's what I want us to talk about. 12 years back, it was me, it was a smaller GTI, 2 friends of mine who are medical doctors in the township. They just closed, it was Saturday, they closed their practice. They called me, says, oh, I said, oh, I'm at a car wash. They said, listen, man, let's get something to eat. I said to them, well, not kota, not chisanyam. I grew up with this thing. They said, okay, what do you want to eat? I said, hey, something nice, maybe some silion or some medium rare steak done. So I said, okay, fine. They said, okay, where are we going to find this in the township? They said, okay, let's go out. So I'm telling you, bunch of 3 duckies. Driver guy, Bedford View. So we leave the hood. There's an active economy here. We leave the hood, we go into Bedford View, my brother. We get into Bedford View, and then they give us the menu, and then guess what I order? Salmon, 200 gram. And I stopped for a moment as about to jump into that salmon. And I said to them, but Chief, tell me guys, why did we have to drive this far to come and get this meal? They said to me, oh, God, you'll never find someone in the township. I said to them, you are wrong. I'm going to sell salmon in the township. That's how Brima Cafe was born. So I went and looked for this property, and I said, I'm going to put a 4 or 5-star restaurant in the township. You come into the township, you've got a choice. You can find your typical goof, I call them goof, or you can find your typical nice fine dining. You got a choice now. But it was a startup, and it's still a very much startup. In my book, let me take this one. There's a title that's about time. That's the second book that I'm working on. It's about time. So when I said to them, we're going to take time. We're going to understand this restaurant business, because we don't understand. I don't know restaurant. I don't know how to cook. By the way, I don't even know how to cook. Now I have to employ people who can cook, but I had to understand the nitty-gritties of that business. What makes that business from the moment you walk in through the door? When you look at our staff, when the plate comes to you, how the kitchen is. So I took a meal, and I invited my staff to the cafe, to a toilet, and I dropped a steak on the floor, and I ate it. I know it sounds a bit crazy. Why now? Toilet, you eat a steak with all the stuff. And I'll tell you why. Or maybe can someone tell me why? Why I did that? Yes, cleanness. Confidence. Confidence. The only challenge we've got in the township is cleanness of toilets. And I wanted to change that. And I told my staff that you want to clean these toilets every hour of the hour. So if the restaurant has been there for 12 years, you can understand how many times we've cleaned that toilet. So now if I could be so pandemic about the toilet, what do you think I'm going to do with the kitchen? And before we even go there, I invited health. I said, come into my cafe. I invited fire, security. I invited just about everybody you can think of. I said, I want seal of approval in this kitchen. Proper equipment. Now, these things are not easy. It sounds easy when I talk about them. It sounds, you can just set up a restaurant. No, there's a lot of things that happen in the background. Similarly to Brima Logistics. I had to find something that was unique. So we agreed, Brima Cafe in the township is unique. Very much unique. Very much. If you go there now, you'll see it's been rebranded, by the way. Now the brand is ready to be unleashed, meaning unleashed. But when I unleash the brand, which market, which area do I go to? Do I go to mall, compete with Mac and Bean? Or do I go to another township like Tembisa, set up another one, set up the same 5-star hotel? Sorry, 5-star restaurant? Is it what I'm going to do? So we understand what is our core. We sell experience. That talks to you. You said lifestyle, but we sell experience. When you come into the township and you dine, you must be able to say, wow, the meal was perfect. Forget about the brand, forget about the social media, the accounts that we have. Because you can find Brima Cafe on social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, website. The website has to be proper. Forget about that. That takes time. Don't rush it. Start slowly and then build it up slowly but surely. So Brima Cafe, we sell experience. Let's talk about Brima Logistics. That company, I saw a market in the niche. I saw a niche in the market. Yes, you've got typical courier companies who delivers things. But I said, how am I going to enter this market? Having spent some years in logistics, because if you look at my resume, my first job, I was a logistic clerk. My second job, I was a logistics supervisor. My third job, I was a logistics manager. My fourth job, I was a head of logistics. My fifth job, where I am now employed, is chairman of a logistic company. When I was a CEO, then I moved to become a chairman of Brima Logistics. So I've moved up, built up. But how did I start this? Yes, I started with a truck and a dream. A truck and a dream. The truck that I started business with, it's still with us, immaculate condition. It's since retired though. It's got a very corner space in one of our big warehouses here in Jet Park. You've been there, you saw the old lady. She's hot. And out of the entire fleet that I have, that's the only truck where I have a say. The rest, they can do whatever they want. But that truck, when they want it, they're going to get a special notice. So, what do we sell there? We sell promise. We've grown. We scaled up from just being me, the first employee, and the second employee was none other than that truck that retired. I don't even know how many people we employ now. I've lost count. But how do you scale up from just one truck to employing 120 people? How do you? If you were to ask me, the answer is yes. And I feel, Bulelani, if you don't mind, my brother, I just want to touch on this book a little bit, because that's why we're here. That's why we're saying to those entrepreneurs, Nedbank is putting money into your business and saying, there's 50,000. What are you going to do? You're going to buy polo. Because that's what probably, a typical business would do. We've listened to speakers talking about monthly financials, cash flows. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to start understanding those things. Ask. Reach out. Then let Nedbank give you 50. Nedbank can give you another 200,000. They are watching you, what you want to do with that 50,000. They want to see. If you say 50,000, I'm going to buy garden equipment, everything that I need for my business. Then you go to Nedbank, you gave me 50,000. Hey, I think I need a bakkie and a trailer to run around Daveyton. Nedbank will give you that money. But you got to show them what you did with the money. Don't go and buy Versace with business account. The biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make they can't separate themselves from the business bank account. A business account, a business is a juristic person. It's got debts, liabilities, and other things. Whatever money is there, it's not yours. So my brother, that 50,000 is not yours. And never forget, it's not yours. It's not yours. It's a lot of money, 50K for your type. It's a lot of money. But what you do with that money will determine how you move up forward. Okay? So he is a natural person. He works for the business because we tend not to be able to draw the difference between my money and the business money. I invoice Bulelani 100,000. So Brima invoice Bulelani 100,000. And I'm thinking, damn it, this is my money. I can just go and take 90,000 and sit with a couple of friends and drink. No, that's wrong. That's bullshit. Take that money and say, what am I going to do with this money? I need to go and buy raw material. I need to be able to make sure that there is salary for staff. You worry about those. Then you are an entrepreneur. And I want to touch a little bit about this book. Now, in this book, there's 4 chapters. And please, jot this in your mind or you can jot them down. I know you've got them in your book that you're going to get, but these are powerful stuff. And we're going to talk movies now, you and I. I want to touch a little bit about movies. The most important chapter there is the I. The I. The second chapter, the I as in the I, matho, amatho. The Matrix. You know the movie? Who's seen the Matrix, the movie? Who's seen the Matrix? I'm talking about the Matrix 1. Okay? It'll tell you how old you are if you've seen the movie. It's an old movie. And then the system is the 3rd chapter. And the most important of all is the value and asset. We've had speakers here talking about the value and asset. Now let's talk about the I. The I, very powerful concept in that book. Entrepreneurs have 3 I's. There's one lying in here. It's very silent. If you look at the garden guy here, who was here, he's got the I just saw it. I saw this man, he's got the 3rd eye. You drive to the township, there's only one thing that we are good at in the township. We chop trees. We don't plant trees. We don't worry about gardening. And I'm not saying all, but I'm saying majority of us. So this man said, don't chop trees. I will chop them for you in a very responsible way. Don't just chuck out grass in I will cut it for you. I'll make sure that I put plants. We go into the suburb. Oh, there's plenty of these garden services. It's for the first time in my life I see someone standing and says, I am so passionate. Because an entrepreneur has to be passionate about his offering. This man started this business and I could clearly see it was not about money. When he was talking, I said, this man, it's not about money. This man started this business because he loved it. Money is a secondary thing that just comes up. If you start a business and say, I want to earn a living, there's nothing wrong with that. But I can tell you a secret. A lot of companies that set up to become legacy businesses, when I talk about legacy, they live beyond the founder. They started with passion. They didn't start because of survival. I'm not employed, I want to. No, they started with passion. The I. So it's an ability for you to see what others don't see. I mean, I grew up in this township. I used to live Koba Sotongamo. We used to buy here. So where we are now, and listen to me clearly, where we are now, it was just nothing but a path. So someone saw an opportunity to say, I'm going to put a business. So what did they have? What is it that they have that made them to see? Their eye. They saw something that you don't see. So when you're an entrepreneur, you have a gift of doing something else that of seeing something else that no one sees. Now the question is, I have seen this now. What do I do? You create your own world. You create a movie, you create a matrix. I call it the matrix, which is my 2nd chapter. Now let's talk about Neo. You've seen Neo again. Neo does the impossible things there. Neo goes through walls. Neo goes through walls. Our lives as people, we've been told what time to go to bed and what time to wake up, how you drive. You get to a robot says, stop, don't move. Have you stopped at the robot? And I'm not saying what they're doing is right. Have you stopped at the robot and then you catch a taxi just coming in and passing? These guys are refusing to subscribe to the norm. Okay, they're wrong what they're doing. They're wrong, yeah, but they're getting the end goal. So, how often you get told that you can't do this? I've been turned down by banks for not having a business plan. I've never had a business plan. I don't know what is a business plan, and I'll tell you what is my business plan. My business plan is my gut feeling. If I believe that I can do, I mean, you saw those entrepreneurs were here. The garden man, there's a lot of them. They have God. Ask them, you know, I wanted to ask them if they got a business plan. They don't have. But they got what they call God. I believe I'm going to do this nonsense. I'm going to do it. This shit is mine. So the movie Matrix, Neo does not confine to norm. He goes through wall. He backspin. What do you want to backspin? He does 13, and then so, but you saw he does funny things in the movie. Ne? So that's the Matrix. So you must create your own illusion. And I'll tell you what's so fun about Matrix. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just bring in a little bit of Bill Gates here. We all use Bill Gates' product. So Bill Gates saw something that you could not see, my brother. And let me not use this Bill Gates, because of this lovely lady next to me, he's using an Apple. Who's the founder of Apple? So Steve Jobs saw something that you could not see. So he had the third eye. And then Steve Jobs went and created his own matrix, his own world. He created his own world, his own product. He's invited you to use his own product. But only him in his matrix, like Theo, can do what you can't do. You know, she gets told how to use this. Delete, send, that's all. But you know Steve Jobs can come and lock it out. You can't lock Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs can come and says, you are not going to use my product. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to go in the mainframe. Who's the founder of Facebook? Mark. That man has more rights in Facebook than you and I. That man can turn, I've got about 5,000 followers on Facebook, and I'm thinking that I've achieved the pinnacle. You know that man can just fake in Facebook to have 1 trillion followers. He can. You know why? Because he bloody owns it. It's his matrix. Now, Steve Jobs, in creating his matrix, and I'm moving to my third chapter now, he realized that I need something to keep this matrix together. Remember, he saw something, he created this matrix, but matrix is kept by a number of systems. These systems are your accounting system, because you can't have a business and not have an accounting system. You're going to have that Sage or Pastel or QuickBook or whatever. And Steve Jobs, in creating his matrix, he realizes that I've got to have systems. Brima Logistics has a couple of systems that it uses. Ne? Brima Logistics is using SAP, and I've got what we call track and trace. Even Brima Cafe has a couple of systems that it uses. There's a point of sale where you come in and then they do a food there, it goes in the kitchen or it goes in the bar, and someone brings the food and you wonder how the hell did this get to you? Or how was it cooked? No, someone said, hey, I want the burger there in the kitchen. No. As we hit enter here, we tap something, we hit enter, it appeared that side, they saw, you've seen this. That's a system. So you've got to have a system that keeps your matrix. And remember, I'm not saying companies. I'm saying I refer to a company as a matrix. You're thinking Apple is a company. Apple is a matrix to Steve Jobs. So entrepreneurs, see your companies as matrix. See it as a world of illusion where you can do whatever you want, where the rules only apply to you. And where you have a great responsibility because you got cash and you got to spend it wisely and you got to be creative. So that's the third system. Very important. Now remember, when you've created the matrix, when you've employed number of systems to be used in your businesses, you now create something which is an asset. And let me engage you on this one. We know Jeff Bezos got divorced some years back, ne? Okay. When he got divorced, I was only interested in one thing when the divorce was made mention. Yes, settlement. No, just kidding, not settlement. Everybody was looking at settlement. Those with two eyes were looking at settlement. You are wrong, my brother, I was not. I was looking at one thing. Hit me. I was looking at one thing. No. You are hot. I want someone hotter. I was looking at one thing when this man got divorced. This man is a trillion. He's rich. He was a billionaire then. I was looking at one thing. Ownership of the company. Shit! What is he going to lose now? Damn it! No. Oh, he owns 90%. This wife is going. He owns 100%. This wife is definitely taking 50%. You are interested in settlement? No. I wanted to see his controlling stake in the business. Because his business is now an asset. When you've got an asset, because you saw something, you created a matrix, you put system to run your matrix, you have an asset. And one thing that comes after an asset is the most important thing. That shows you ufitlile bano. Usinganga bano. There's only one thing that comes. The value of your asset. Now we must get the matlevas. I'm not a CA. Must get the matlevas to say, come and evaluate my business. They got funny IBEDA formulas that they use. They come and tell you, Tshepo, you know your business is worth about 50 million. Huh? Fuck. You go and tell your wife, hey, love, I just got a confirmation. We're worth 50 million. There was a faggot divorce, 25 million cash. You see? So you've created nothing but an asset that has a value. Now, when that has been achieved, guys, and I'm telling you, this is very important, and I'm talking to entrepreneurs that were here in front, because I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. Or not challenge me, I want to just shake you a little bit. One thing that comes when you've achieved or when you've followed the 4 chapters, the legacy. When you leave, how are you going to be remembered? This guy is gone. The founder, what's his name? Steve Jobs. But you are still using his product. He's left a legacy, so his name will forever live in our memories. Forever live. You know, I was in Cape Town. I've got customers in Cape Town. I was there 4 days. I need 5 days in Cape Town, but I tried to squeeze everything in Cape Town for 4 days. So there was one important visit that I had to make. Those who follow on Twitter, you'll see. I had to go to the South African Resource Heritage Agents. Just for one thing. You know what they have there? They got a library. I went there, my brother. And I walked in, and I said, I'm Tshepo here. I know you have a library. I want to donate a book. Why did I do that? Why the Heritage Council? Can someone tell me why? Why didn't I just give it to some library there in Benoni? Which is non-existent, by the way. Why the Heritage Council? And when I got there, I was interested in one thing. After they took my book, they cataloged it. They said, thank you very much. We take a photo. I tweeted. And then I left. Oh, but before I left, I said to them, I want to see the oldest book in here. I couldn't believe, guys. I was sat in the library. I ended up canceling my other meeting because I was so fascinated by old books in there, which are 1800, 1820. Chief, I was like a child in there. Hey, look at that book. Hey, I want to see, how old is this book? You smell the beautiful. So I left my copy, and I know that when I'm 70, I won't find my book. I'll probably find it because I have a copy. But there will be that special, unique one, which is left at the heritage agency. So my book is there. You can go after 200 years. My book is there, and I did this for a purpose. So folks, I've given you a list of what you find in my book, but it's up to you. What worked for me doesn't necessarily will work for you. You can take that one and then mold it to suit you. And you know, I've forever and I'll always be passionate about entrepreneurship. And I'll forever be honored to be able to come to fund. I don't even charge. I just say, even at work, I say, but you're charging to talk. I said, no. When Bulelani calls, just call me. I don't care. I'll fly myself to Cape Town. I'll pay for myself. I don't care. But as long as I'm going to talk to my fellow entrepreneurs, this is a gig for me. This is for me to inspire 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 years down the line, the garden guy, he's running 5 parkies in the township. But he must take his business far beyond that. He needs to start educating our people in the township not to burn the trees or cut them off. So now so I'll cut it for you. Ask Brima, yes, please. The love must come there. His garden, I shall be landscaping. You know, I live in the suburb and in the estate. Whenever I come out, neighbor shall be landscaping it and so. But when I come into the township, I say, what's wrong with us? There's nothing wrong with us. We just need to change our mindset. We need to say, okay. I mean, when this business started, I saw how it evolved over time. I mean, when Tapelo said, Bashapa Roadhouse, and he said, in the township. I said, yes. In the township, Roadhouse in the township. But folks, please, there's something that I picked up, and it says, and I want you to think about it, because we don't think about that. Barry, when you look at something, okay, I'm facing this camera, ne? This camera it's got 4 corners, kids, say 4. But I can tell you, if I turn around at another angle, this camera is different. And I'll make a simple example. If I look at her in the eye, I can see she's got eyes, she's got a nose, beautiful nose. But if I turn here, she's different. She's got an ear, she's pink hair. So when you get challenged every day and it's not working, all you need to do is just turn a little bit. Try and find another solution. As I said, I've had banks saying no, and they're still saying no. When they say no, I said, okay, cool. There's that door, ne? There must be another door somewhere in Netbank. And I go to Netbank and it says, hey, and then someone else will listen to my story and they'll listen to it carefully. Because of not all, but remember, people in the bank, I call them tick box, but tick. They've been told, look at equity, negative man. No, we can't give you money. But they don't dive deep, and I'm not talking down on Netbank. And I don't understand why you got a negative equity or why those losses. It could have been for 6 months, the garden guy, and I could depression as better. You know? So the person at the bank is not looking at that. He doesn't want to know that because he's been told what to tick. But you must go to the one that told this person to tick what? To say, can you please change? Don't tick. Oh, the reason why, can you explain unto it? I got an explanation. Oh, about what tick cafe. But I have an explanation, but we must understand the explanation. And then okay, get offer. I can write again. Tshepo was here, he wants money. No, but he's quit. No, I understand why he's going. Just give him the money. Huh? These things are created by human beings. Find the person that created this thing and talk to that person. And folks, I think I've tried to sum up, and I know we pressed on time. And this is a problem with someone like me. When you take me, when you got 2 brands and there's a lot to cover. I mean, he just touched something about this book. And if you don't mind, can I share on the book a little bit? This book, I'm self-publishing. I wrote the book and I said, okay, let's get your exclusive books on board. I was like so despondent. The answer was looking at me. The answer was there. And guess what? In your company, you must always employ the clever ones. Clever than you. Don't want to be everything in your business. Take advice from your staff. So now, how I did? So we wrote the book. I wrote the book and we're sitting in the boardroom, keeping up there. Okay, we're going to get exclusive Arbotsaka. They're going to take everything, chief. I'm going to be left with 20 rand. Gary, no, this is bullshit. Excuse my French. Gary, no, we're going to come up with a solution. Just an intern who was sitting there, my brother, looked at me and said, sir, why are we having problem? Said in the book. God, no, we're having problem because we're going to get into exclusive books. We're going to get... But we have one thing that we own. Can someone tell me what is that? No. Huh? What can you tell me? Hit me. Huh? Hit me. I'll give you another lunch if you hit this one. What capability, my brother? I've been talking to you for almost an hour or two. You guys can figure it. I've got 2 companies. So if I'm going to sell a book, what is more unlikely to happen? Courier. So this guy said, sir, why are we worried? I said, what? Why are you worried about exclusive books? We're going to get this bloody book to every door. And I said, Chana, what are you? Huh? Okay, we got another company called Brima Tech anyway. He said, no, sir. The MD of Brima Tech said, we can put up a e-commerce platform quickly, and then you guys will deliver the book. Oh, okay. Then why didn't I think of that? You see? So not all I see. But when you start seeing, you start employing other people to help you see. So we came up with a product called e-black box. And we deliver in a black box. And there are a number of products on our platform. We sell hair products. So hey, entrepreneurs, if maybe you want me to take your numbers, go on our platform and see e-black box. We own the platform. So my book now, if you want to buy it for someone else and have it delivered to the door there, you can just go there, have your credit card there or your check card. We'll make sure it goes to that individual. Not through Take a Lot, not through exclusive books, but through the platform that we own. So we get to keep what? All the kitchen. Okay. So, yeah, folks, and that's it. And I can get into other ideas. I can talk about Brima Tech, but it'll take me the whole day. And I think Bulelani would like to engage me a little bit further maybe. But I think I gave you a summation of who I am, what do I do, and to sum it, I am an entrepreneur. And thank you. Sorry, I think I forgot something a little bit. That's why it is a lot. The guy that won here, we've decided to help him with, branding in any organization is very important. There were 2 companies that stood up there that just stole it for me. It was Label M Jewelry, and then another one was, who was wearing his brand? I mean, there were 2. It was Label M. There were 2 companies. They were wearing the Tosh. For me, it was those. If you come to me, you're wearing your brand, it talks to the level of intimacy. It talks to how much you are in love with your brand. The other day we went to a funeral, and I must tell you this. And I put on this. I got lots of this. So this is Brima. This is Brima Cafe. And I put one. I'm so used to be putting them, and I Monday to Friday, and it started slipping into Saturday and Sunday. So I put on. My wife said to me, "Now you can't wear Brima." And I looked at my wife, Chief, with a level of disappointment. Then I went there, and guess what I put on? My Lacoste shirt. Same shirt, but difference is Brima. Then I went to her and I said, how do I look now? She said, yeah, now. I said, love, you and I are going to get into a car. Who's paying that car? You said Brima. Who's paying for the fuel? Brima. The phone that you've got? Brima. My salary? Brima. Who the hell is Lacoste? Lacoste ain't paying shit. Lacoste wants money from me. And they're not going to get a cent. And guess what? My mom said, I know you. You're going to be unhappy at the funeral because I was accompanying. Okay, go and wear something that you are very comfortable with. And guess what? I went in there. There's the same shirt that she refused. I wore it, and I was singing in the car. Hallelujah, Brima, hallelujah. And we got to a funeral. And guess what? Typical Turkeys. Versace da, Louis Vuitton da, and then nahe. So give an opportunity. There is no big marketing like in the graveyard. How cheese? There's only one thing that comes up in the graveyard. What do you think you can? And I said, shit, I must do this. I must get a lot and give them for free go graveyard. What is that you need go graveyard? Umbrellas, my brother. They all went up. Zoo. I can put by them because it's that marketing moment. It's free marketing. And guess what? I feel more. So you put 100 umbrellas into one block. When they all leave, they live in hundreds. So you've got your brand in every houses. And another important concept, when I spoke to my staff, I said to them, do products that stay with people. There's only one thing that stays with people in your office. What is the one common thing that you don't change on your desk? You don't think about it, but I'm going to tell you. The eye. So those entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, if you're going to market it this way. What is the most common thing? That get computer, get desk. There's something that doesn't move, that doesn't change. Mouse pad. That shit doesn't move. It's there. And guess what? They're always clicking. When they click on mouse pad, they're clicking on your name.
I mean, a successful entrepreneur.
I like that question.
Like, is failing, should I embrace failure and rejection, like, through that journey of becoming a successful entrepreneur?
You know, one of my tweets, if you follow me on Twitter at Tshepo Mekoa, you realize that when for the last 17 years being with Brima Logistics, I must have resigned, I think, over 1 million times. I resigned and I had myself again. So those were failures. There's times where you get so tested, my brother, so tested you feel, this is it, where you have no money to even pay salaries. Don't be fooled by what you see. I can tell you I've had those moments and I'm still having them. So in a nutshell, I sum it. An entrepreneur is not a person that is so happy. Monday to Sunday, you are in this business, you love it. Because I've just said to you right now, become intimate with your business. But the moment you become intimate with that business, and excuse my French, you're gonna get fucked like me. You're gonna be so messed up that you're either you're gonna strive to be great. Because remember, you can't be best in what you do. And you can't be good, you gotta be great. And in being great, you're gonna be so bothered. Because you'll want money to do great things, but you're not gonna have money. And you're going to be frustrated. Trust me, you see me walking through, you see me from here walking into my car. And you must know, that man is not a happy man. But I chose this man. Yeah. And I love it. Because you know why? It puts, and I'm trying to answer your question. It puts bread on the table for not just my family, but for many other families. As Bulelani said, for every employee I pay, there's 3 more people who are fed from that. Today I had to wake up and authorize salaries, and I'll tell you one thing, and I'm being honest. The saddest day of my life is I'm happy for 29 days, my brother, but when it comes to paying salaries, I just don't like it. I'm a typical entrepreneur, so you are gonna fail. But when you fail, I've just made an example upon the lovely lady out there. I said to her, if you fail, and like, if all you do, Baba, you just change, you come by ears, you whisper, you say, so you are going to fail. You are going to fail.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Lamola. Before I get to ask question, this is a request, Bulelani. Can you please approach the Department of Small Business? Why? Because I heard that the police, I don't want to go deep into politics there. They are useless, right? So for us to teach them about the real entrepreneurs, let's go to a small department or a small business department and say, have a seat here and listen to these entrepreneurs, because we are crying. And as time goes on in business, that I've learned business, I've learned that Robert Kiyosaki says, you make money with business, to protect it with real estate. But in South Africa, what I've realized is you make money with business, you protect it politically. My question to Mr. Tshepo is that don't you think small entrepreneurs should know, they don't have to be interested, they should know a little bit of politics, because as time goes on, because as your business go bigger, they come in like buckets, you know, they come fully in. So now you're vulnerable, you don't know.
Guys, let me just get you, let's just give him attention.
It's a good question that he's asking.
You don't know anything political, then they start using you. You are just a tennis ball to them. Don't you think entrepreneurs need to dive in little, even if 5%, into politics, and not just ignore it, because we know that politics in South Africa, it has a bad name. And I draw inspiration from USA. Look at what USA has done. They protect their entrepreneurs. They protect them. So that was my question.
Thank you so much. This gentleman, I could tell, is a political entrepreneur. I get we've got social entrepreneur, but a political entrepreneur. Powerful. You can't separate the two, business and an entrepreneur, or business and politics. You can't. Entrepreneurs influences business, but politics. But in South Africa, we've seen to a larger point. I'm not a recipient of. I mean, if you look at my business, logistics, and I'm not talking about cafe, because cafe, you are the customers, you are the patrons. That's how it. When I look at logistics, and it's so sad, my brother, it's so sad, and I hear what you're saying. Today, 28 or 30 years, I'm sitting here as a 17-year-old, the only black-owned logistic company in the country with this massive. That turnover thing is only 2%. And it's not like I don't tender, I do. But they ended up giving our very own, a very difficult one, our very own gives it to, and it's a sore issue for me. It's sad. Or you'd see DSV, it deliver the driver's license. And you ask yourself, why not Brima? You know? Americans are doing it so well. They protect theirs. I mean, love Donald Trump, hate him, he says, make America great, buy America. DSV is a Danish company. So if our government spends millions to deliver your driver's license, your money is leaving this country in the form of dividends. So, but when that happens, we can't just cry. If there's no road, the government does not build a road, what do? We build ourselves. Without diving into politics, I have seen companies putting up fire departments now. I have seen people doing private prosecution. I have seen people doing private pothole fixing. I have seen private school coming. I've seen everything going private. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm here to talk entrepreneurship. But let me tell you something. When they fail, find a way around. Remember what I said? If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. The way I've looked at this lovely lady in front of me is different to the other way that I've looked at her. Change, my brother, yes, but not necessarily we should not continue to engage. Bulelani, we should engage. But at times we hit a wall. It's not like he doesn't. It's not like he has not tried. I have, and I can tell you he's tried. So what does he do? He goes to the private sector. The likes of Nedbank have an appetite for you, and they say, come. And what I like about the Nedbanks, they put money into it. They say, yes, there's 50,000. Guys, now in my time when I started this business, Nedbanks are not giving us money. They wanted money from us, but they are giving money. Take these opportunities. Grab them. And you've got advisors. People are telling you how to go about doing it. Not necessarily you have to do it that way, but take and learn. Grab it and run. Don't look at this government. Don't look at it. SARS is messed up, it's on strike. Guys, I'm not going to get into there, but just do your own thing. Your own thing, my brother. Thank you.
So I think my question is a bit answered from what you just said now, but I just wanted to find out, as an entrepreneur, looking at what's happening in South Africa with the recent lootings, and I'm speaking for myself, that we are scared to go into townships and building our brands there, or having, you know, as you mentioned, that you have the cafe in a township instead of you driving to, you know, Bedford or so forth. How do you bring back that trust for, okay guys, this is for us, let's not burn it? Because a lot of people that have the businesses closed down and now they're even scared to open. So how do you bring that back? Is it changing the direction? How do you start with it? This is also benefiting you. Because I think that's one thing that you look at a lot of your Starbucks, whatever, that are Kodimolong. You drive to Eastgate, especially in the East Rand. A lot of these restaurants, fancy restaurants, you need to go to Eastgate for you to experience that. But when you bring it here, you get scared or anything happens. When people are mad, they might even burn DKNY, but it's bringing money for the 3 families and so forth.
Yeah. Let me take this one first, and then I'll try and sum it up. Never run away. It's the same conversation that I had fellow entrepreneurs who've made it, who are now operating in suburbs. And I'm saying, guys, let's get back. Let's invest in the township. If you don't invest in the township, as Botakis, you want to see, and I'm not being racist, you want to see this Indian mulling them inside their township? I mean, if I could give you the bit of history of who the biggest turnovers are in the township, it's not even black businesses. And just by driving through the mall, on your right hand side, there's that shopping complex, Kamul. It's not owned by a black local guy, I can tell you that. The shops sell them all 10 out of 10. The other races. So it's because of we are deterred, that's all. And don't get me wrong, I've had my share of experience that crime in that restaurant. And the DKNY has had their share in the board. But we don't have to stop. Because you've got other elements of that. We have to engage with them to say, my brother, don't blend black. Do you know my events? They hijacked by the very same black brothers that I have. It was a Brima why not? If there's a typical Dakis and he's very patronage and he lives a spiritual Indian to Indian. You know Indians? Go and put a shop, go an Indian area. They'll never buy from you. But put a shop, called location in, you will pass pizza ya Tshepo or rega di bonus. You will do it. So it starts with us. It's called self-funding. And DKNYs, I mean, they go to a point of analyzing how many black people are there that they support, which is good. Because you got to know. You got to know. So please don't give up. And let's conscientize our people. And through your political parties like EFF, ANC, and others, to start saying, black men, stop banning each other. When I came out June, and I got a shot, he touched on banning looting, and I could identify, he must have lost. I lost. And I was coming out of ICU, because of COVID. I just had a ventilator. I was in ICU for 3 weeks. Now I'm starting to see now. And then, and I know that route at Devon, my trucks run between Devon and, because I pull containers out of the port into Joburg, but Chai and so forth. And Ness, I'm trying to recover. Let's find out my trucks between Devon and I get an answer. They tried to call my wife, and my wife told, no, motor trucks are safe. We're just losing challenge because we're not running. It was a relief, but I lost money. I mean, I lost substance. We lost 10 was about, on that month, it was about 35 lesser than it would have been. Because we banned. We banned. So don't give up. Invest in this township. Let's engage our black brothers and black sisters. Let's change the mindset. Through dialogue, we can. I mean, he had a choice. He brought this in the township. He went out and he got sponsors. So when there are such events, spread word or go to TIA. It's not about you'll get 50,000 from Nedbank, but you'll get important discussions that you are not going to have. You're not going to have. So we went into a place, Erekisang Biala, and we talking about a business. Let's go into those Chesanyamas. Let's go into your Brima Cafes in the township. Let's talk to our people. Because of, you remember Barack Obama, and I have to touch on this. Barack Obama took over as a president in 2008. And there was one thing happening in 2008, and those who would remember, what was happening in 2008? Recession. It was the biggest recession, and job companies were closing down. Obama said something very powerful. It's like Obama was set to fail. He said, well, I'm not going to put my money into Ford. I'm not going to put my money into these big companies, Ernst & Young and so forth. I'm going to put my money into an entrepreneur. And that's what he did. He put his money into those entrepreneurs. And Americans, when it comes to entrepreneurship, they're so into it. And immediately, remember with Ford, when they have to employ 4 people, they've got bloody requisitions to complete. But an entrepreneur decides now, when he wakes up, I think I'm going to hire one now. How can you go Twitter or Facebook advertising? No. It happens just like this, quick. So, if I'm this government, I'll put money, a lot of money, into this entrepreneurs. Please, let's not give up. They want us to give up. Let's not give up. Let's soldier on. Thank you.
No, just speak. No. It's going in here.
All right. Thank you firstly for the opportunity. Owner and founder of Mosby. I would like to thank NetBank, Bulelani, and the team because I was born here at Daveyton. We've never had such a session. We've never had such an eye-opener in terms of entrepreneurs. Since Fundele, we started from scratch and learning entrepreneurship. So for you guys to bring such an initiative, I think it helps our township to actually grow our businesses and learn through business. I've known Umbizi Khotman Tshepo. I've never had an interaction with him, and I've been meaning to meet him so that he can also coach us in terms of business. And you guys brought him here. So when I saw the opportunity, I said, there's no way I'm going to miss it. And we are learning a lot from it. I hope it won't stop because I'm 7 to 10 years into business. I've never had such a lecture from him. So, Sibonga Kakhulu. And the question that I have for him is that how, because I see him, I follow him, how does he manage to actually juggle a business and family? Because now I have a few businesses of my own and it takes a lot of my time, and sometimes you're not able to actually to go back and balance the two. How do you go about, how do you navigate yourself, and how do you keep your energy going through and through, especially when you have to actually pay those salaries? What motivates and keeps you going? Thanks.
These guys are taking it back, in the yesteryear. Wow. It's difficult to balance between family and business. And I'll ask this question, and I'll answer it, or we'll answer it, you and I. I'm going to ask you, lovely lady, what comes first? Okay, when you look at me, what do you think comes first between the businesses that I have and family? And be honest. No. There's no bit of both. There's no 50-50. Business. My family is secondary to business. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're sitting here and you're saying it's your family, oh, you got a problem. And I'll tell you equally so, ne? What comes, my wife is a technocrat. She works for government. So you can understand, she doesn't like what I'm saying now. So when I talk a bit about government, I said, please don't go there. So, and I inspire her to be a career woman she is. So she does what she wants. She works for the president. She can be told, now you're flying to Cape Town now. She doesn't have to report to me. She just said, hey, listen, I'm flying to Cape Town now. You look after the kid. Bye-bye, gone. I decided to take my day today to come and talk to you. And we're supposed to go shopping, the two of us. She went. And she shopped. And I'm here with you, my fellow colleagues. Now, let me answer that question. Business comes first. And I'll tell you, why I say business comes first. I wake up every morning. Ne? I wake up 4:30, by the way. Ne? Well, sometimes 5. I would only see my kids for an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. And then I would leave. I'll be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning, the logistic business. I'll leave the logistic business at 3. I'm at the cafe up until 6, 6:30. I get home. Ne? I am there for only an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. I sleep. So when you look at it, I saw my kids for only 4 hours. But I spend time with my businesses for anything not less than 11 hours. And then you're going to say it's family. If it's family, flip it. Go and spend 8 hours with your family and spend 2 hours with business. It's not going to work when you're an entrepreneur, whether you like it or not. I'm not going to lie to you. So start psyching yourself. This question, I've engaged my staff quite a lot. And especially when, oh, by the way, he's my competitor in the township. Yeah, he's my competitor. I've seen his work. He thinks I don't follow him. I do. I know more, and trust me, I've seen your fish. So psych yourself. Let your partner understand about the journey that you're about to embark. If you've got a partner that always wants you here and wants you to walk in the mall with her holding hand, then you've got the wrong partner. Ne? Now my partner understands. Or I mean, I was in Cape Town. I only came back last night. No, this morning. No. Mabanu Hussein. The flight that I took was a bit of a problem, and we had to wait and be put in another flight, but I got home safe. Like 1 o'clock, so I had to wait for another flight for 3 hours to Cape Town. So meaning, I must have been go airport for something like 5-6 hours, trying to get home. If business is important, if family is important, then I should not have been in Cape Town. I should have been at home, waiting for the kids or or something like that. And I'm not saying they're less important, but I'll tell you what. When kitchen comes, they smile. You know? So, and I've had a privilege of taking my kids to New York and Boston, and I would take them, you know? And I would take them, go New York and say, you see this in the movie, you saw this in that movie, yes. You see, this is not impossible, this is possible. You can set foot here. And I'll answer that. Good, I want to answer it again. This is possible. And then you take them, go Boston. You show them in the MIT universities, those universities that go Boston. You see, you can study here. And then you take them to Washington, you show them, you can be anything. Ne? Then I call them and I says, guys, I love you so much that I have to sacrifice my time so that I can be able to show you these things. Because if I'm going to spend too much time at home, you're not going to see this. So it's choices that you're going to have to make. And coming back to your question, and I hope in spending 2 minutes, I've answered your question, and especially when your business is retail. I am so challenged. I'm like you, because I run a business at 12 o'clock Friday, Saturday. And sometimes I would work from 7 o'clock, at 12. And I live in Pretoria, by the way. So, yes, not Kasi. I live in Pretoria. So I drive from Brima Cafe every day, same route. My wife said, hey, when I drive up, about 1 o'clock. But she understands. It's got to be done. I hope I answered your question. Your business must come first, my brother. Should, not must.
All right. My name is Mbawula Chat. I'm Mbawula Chat from a company called Optima Skike, which means Optimum Women. So we work on the mental health of women primarily, but of everyone, in basic. So I just want to ask, actually this question is for everyone, but I just want to know, how do you balance your, I'm going to get a bit personal, your mental health when it comes to running a business, dealing with the failures, dealing with the successes, the challenges that are involved from every level, from the starting point to wherever you are. How do you deal with it so that you don't get to a point where you are depressed and you don't want to continue? How do you, because you are helping someone, actually, me even, so.
I always say entrepreneurs are, we start talking about the third eye, I agree with you. Nobody has a third eye, but you and I have. You are a little bit crazy. So there's no way you're going to be sane. You are insane. You know, Elon Musk with his Tesla, he's sick. And there's nothing wrong being a little bit crazy. And what she's saying, she's how do you how do you not collapse into... I know a lot of entrepreneurs who've collapsed into that mental state where they feel so depressed. And when I say I know a lot, me included as well. So I've been there. And in my book, there's a chapter, not a chapter, there's a page where it talks about how depressed I was when COVID hit us. And in that book, it tells you I locked myself in the room. Remember, I've worked so hard, I've given everything, I've sacrificed my family, and this bloody pandemic comes and now threatening to destroy everything that I have. So I end up in the room, secretly depressed, and I was like down and out. And then my wife knocked on the door, and it's in that book, you'll read it. And I hope I'm answering a question by saying that. My wife came and said, listen, please, your staff members are at work, they need a captain, and stop feeling sorry. Pandemic. So don't look at me and think, or I've always been fireproof or wallproof. No. I had those moments, and I have them every day. So then they just call me. They're busy setting up a war room. We're fighting how to keep this business surviving now. And I was like, okay, then I got, but I was, okay, and as I said, I live in Pretoria, so I joined the freeway R21 on my PS side. I've never, one occasion maybe there was no pandemic. That's one occasion. That was not virus, we know. So when I joined the R21, from Nelma PS up until I could take the jetpack off ramp, I was the only car. I got even depressed further. I called the guy, love you, there's people are dead. But abasaliyo. I don't know, but just drive to work. Your staff are waiting for you. So I got to work, and I got off my car, and stuff like that. Just the executive committee was there, the executive staff. They called me in, and I saw the financial manager was heading the meeting. There's a chair, the executive chair. As I walked through, they stood up. They said, sir, this is your chair. And I said, no, you sit on that chair. And I sat on the other side. And I said, okay, what is the plan? I said, okay, there's Tersa. We can get some money there. Standard Bank, Nedbank, Nana, they've all put up that COVID fund loan. We can get that money there. There's that Tugu funny. We've got the forms. Compliance, guys, in any business helps. Don't take SARS for granted because they can close your business. They'll make your Skakra tax clearance and be able to tender. And you not just need a tax clearance for government, you also need it for private sector. So they put it up together, and guess what? Within a month or so, we got the funding, and the business was now getting out of its not necessarily getting out, but finding its feet a little bit. So, yes, I get mentally challenged where sometimes I don't know whether I'm coming. Depression. If you are an entrepreneur and you've never been depressed, then you don't know what it's like building a business or starting up a business. So you are going to get depressed. You are abnormal, but you must always remember, there's something wrong with you. You chose to be here to listen to this conversation. Other people as I speak, but you chose this day. So by choosing this day already says much about you. But it's fine. I think I'm going to leave it there. I know we're all tired now, but I hope it was worth it. Bulelani, who's the program director? Now I'm left on stage alone. Oh, there's the program director. Yeah, but other than that, I want to leave you with something, and this is very powerful. And please jot this down. Jot this down. This is very important. And you might have seen it somewhere before. Bari and interpret. You'll see how sick these people are. How sick we are. These people, they jump off the cliff. And on their way down, they build a plane. That's how sick we are. So remember, keep this thing in your mind. You are going to jump off the cliff. And on your way down, you're going to build a plane. It's crazy, huh? It's super crazy. So jump on the cliff Those are entrepreneurs. If people are, if we go to the textbook, but entrepreneurship, and risking, oh no, forget that. No. Rona, we are the crazy one. They must put crazy there. They must put the eye there. They must put us jumping into the cliff and building a plane on our way down. That's who we are. That's who we are. And you guys need to research. There's a difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Who knows what the difference between the two? There's a huge difference. Who can try? Hit me. Yeah, correct. Yeah, but I'll give close. But I'll give you a very simple, basic difference between the two. Rona, the entrepreneurs, we hire the businessmen. Yeah, we hire them. We hire the businessmen. We hire the Harvard boys and girls. We hire bookkeepers. I look at them. Bookkeepers. It's fine, go there. This is the guy that's going to put the formula to determine how my business is worth. Simple. It's okay. So that's the difference between the two. Remember, entrepreneur hires a businessman. That's all, period. Okay? Thank you, folks.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. And just a reminder, so he's going to be stationed right here. We're going to set up a table. He's going to sign the book. You get the book. His hands are going to work. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'll hand over. Oh, the kid. Woo. So these are some of the products we got from the guys outside. So over and above the Brima brand, you'll now wear more local stuff.
And we'd like to get hold of these guys so that we can warehouse these things and distribute them.
Done.
Put them on the platform.
Done.
That's what we want.